All right,
Yeah,
Devin. Let's predict these week 2 games.
let's do it.
Let's change the topic and let's predict these week 2 games. The first game we got is Baltimore versus Vegas.
That's simple. Simple math.
So obviously, I'm going with Baltimore,
I
and
better not lose the fucking Vegas, dog.
we shouldn't just not lose the ball to Vegas. It should be an absolute blowout. I'm
Now,
talking.
sorry, this is different, but we need more 4 o'clock games. There's way too many 1 o'clock
Yes,
games.
10 o'clock, 1 o'clock games is ridiculous.
It's nuts.
But definitely need like a complete shutout, like 49-6. Like I mean, like I
Yeah,
cannot. I don't need. I need. I'm talking like I'm disappointed if Gardner Minshew has multiple
multiple touchdowns.
uh no, just multiple decent drives.
Sure.
Multiple decent drives. If he
I
gets in
mean,
the field goal range
Gardner put
more
it on y'all last year.
if he gets in the field goal range more than 2 times, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
That's
If he
fair.
gets in the field goal range more than 2 times, we better put up 49 points.
Agreed.
We
But
better just endless touchdowns.
he was y'all's. He was one of y'all's losses last
Fuck
year.
him. Yeah. Well, yeah, because of very obvious PI that was not called.
Agreed.
Um,
Also, I don't mean to derail this, but I don't think we talked about it. There was a almost tying of um, Justin Tucker's record.
yeah.
He made it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a timeout called. No, there was
Mm-hmm.
a delay game,
Uh-huh.
and then they refused. They didn't kick the 71-yarder, but someone tied JT, which was I thought would have been awesome, but
Womp womp.
womp
I
womp.
don't know what else to say. I don't know. Everybody's saying Justin Tucker's washed, so there's not much I can really say about that.
Agreed. Yeah,
Even though he's like obviously not washed.
clearly not.
No.
But yeah, no, the Ravens. I think they need this game. I mean, they obviously need this game. They need to put one on. Obviously the AFC West, but honestly anybody. Um, I think they played good enough last week to beat the Chiefs, but Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they need to bring like they haven't in prior years. Need to bring the same exact energy into the Chiefs that they do, the Raiders that they do, the fucking Broncos,
Mm-hmm.
anybody. They need to fuck
Mm-hmm.
every fucking team up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they played like they did against the Chiefs, they're gonna fucking kill everybody.
100%. Chargers versus Panthers.
I mean, fuck. The way that the Panthers played is one of the worst. They look like one of the worst teams that could ever possibly step on a football field. So hopefully the Chargers can pee on them a little bit.
See, and I just need to see more from. I'm taking Chargers, but all I want to see is more from that wide
Yes.
receiving, just more from the pass game period.
Yeah.
They got saved from the run game last week because it wasn't necessarily we don't we don't have to pass because we can run. It was just holy shit, JK is back. Um,
And honestly, I can see this game going like that. I can see them front loading with their run game, and I mean their pass game can be whatever. But if J.K. shows up and if Gus shows up, I think they'll look okay. But yeah, obviously Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer need to show the fuck up.
I mean, this is just a game where I think they can work on getting some chemistry because it seems like either they have zero chemistry,
Yeah.
or like I said last week, they are the worst wide receiving core in the NFL.
Yes.
Um,
Either of
but
those.
yeah, I'm taking Chargers. I'm
Of
assuming
course.
you're also taking the Chargers.
Yes.
Dallas versus the Saints. Here we go. This is Devin. Here it is. The best version of Dallas Cowboys. The best version of the Cowboys you'll ever get to see. That's September Dallas. This
Yes.
is what the Saints get to go up against. The
Now
Saints.
is this going to be the best version of the Saints? We'll see.
I think we
Potentially.
saw that last week
I think we saw that last week,
because
of
right
course.
now they're 0-0. This is when we really see.
No, 1,000%.
This is when we really
Who
see what Derek Carr and the Saints are made of because
who'd the boys play last week?
Cleveland.
Yeah, no.
You don't. You remember.
I do remember that. I
You
forgot about that.
remember.
Um, Obviously Cleveland had their issues, but
Mhm.
both of these teams are 0-0.
Mm,
I cannot see a world in which
mm, uh,
the Saints win. I mean, maybe,
Cowboys are
but
1-0.
they are.
Cowboys are 1-0.
They are. But
Okay,
the Saints would have to offensively put up 47 again and defensively shut down
it's not
the
happening.
Cowboys, but
It's not
I don't
happening.
see that.
Dallas is
Not this week.
easily Dallas
Not
is
this week.
easily going to win
Now,
this
if
game.
the Saints played the Cowboys in the wild card, maybe they got a shot, but not week 2.
If the Saints are good enough to make the wild card round this year, then
They
yeah,
could beat them.
sure, I'll give it to them all day.
Yeah,
Tampa versus Detroit. I just want to say, when I saw this matchup, I just looked up to the football guys and wanted to thank them for making this sport because I love football.
that's awesome.
This is a
This
beautiful
is
game,
gorgeous.
just a beautiful matchup.
Yeah,
Two great NFC teams,
in
two great
Detroit.
teams in Detroit. Now here's my problem. I love seeing how great the Detroit Lions are now, and I also love Tampa and Baker. Um, so I am gonna take my bias and put it aside and say and admit that I do not think the Bucks are on Detroit's level.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, Tampa is hot. They're a hot. They're a hot topic. They're a higher ranked team in terms of success week 1, but
Mhm.
they did play Washington.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna sit here and go, "Oh, this is what we're gonna get every single week out of Baker Mayfield, and it's just gonna be this easy."
Yeah, no.
It's
I
obviously
mean,
not. Detroit, in my eyes, may be the best team in the NFC.
mhm.
Um, and I mean, they had a couple blunders last week, and now look, the conversations will change in my eyes if this is a one score game. If this is a one score game, I think the conversation for me will change. But I mean, I see Detroit. I mean, I'm talking 10, 10 point, 10 point, 13 point win.
I feel a little differently. I think this can be a one-score game. I don't think the Bucks. I don't think Detroit is gonna come with the same shitty energy that Washington did. Like I don't know if you watched or I don't know if you heard some of the mic'd up from the Washington Bucks game last week, but Baker was talking about. He was like, if they're gonna single cover Mike Evans, I'm just throwing it up to him. So that's apparently what we did the entire game, which was not double or triple Mike, and it was an easy touchdown a few times. I think Detroit will come with a better game plan defensively. I think Detroit's offense, if they can get Amon Ra running. Now, even if they don't, they still have Jameson Williams and they still have their run game and all that stuff.
So that's the thing.
Um,
They cooked last week, and Amon Ra was quiet.
Very quiet. He had 4 targets, 3 catches. So, I mean, again, even if they don't get Amon Ra running, I still think they're going to be a powerhouse. I mean, it could be a one-score game, but yeah, I think I definitely have the Lions
All right. Yeah, I just think Tampa has a lot more on their hands offensively and defensively
for sure.
when it comes to Detroit. Indianapolis versus Green Bay. I just got two things for this. Anthony Richardson better outperform Malik Willis,
Yeah,
but at the same time, we've been hearing a lot of shit.
I
We've
mean,
been
we
hearing a
hear all this
lot
shit
of
about
shit
the
talking
Packers.
about Green Bay. If this team is so good and so complete,
They
it
better
better still
compete without Jordan Love
it better still
because
be competitive.
Jordan Love, if that's your guy to be your entire team, then y'all ain't shit. But if this team can still be competitive, then whatever. But I want to see the Colts do their business. I could give a fuck about the Packers. Like I mean, I probably said it preseason a bunch of times. There's no reason for them to be ranked as high as they were, even with Jordan Love. I think it was dog shit, but this week I'll take the Colts. We'll see how the Packers fare with Malik Willis, who decided to take a sack at the end of the
Yeah,
Brazil game.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
also, I'm gonna
Yeah,
also take the Colts.
yeah,
We
nice
got
work, Malik.
Jacksonville versus Cleveland.
It's a weird one for me.
Look, I'm just gonna say this now. For now, I'll just accept my Deshaun Watson L.
For
And
now,
look, it is what it is. He's playing. He played like shit. Obviously, as a person, he's. I mean,
has his things.
he's dealing with off the field
Did you hear
problems.
what Dan Lebitard said about the Browns leaking his thing?
What?
Dan Lebitard, formerly of ESPN, whatever the fuck, he has his own show, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, said that the Browns leaked or put out this other assaultee, um, to get rid of his $240 million contract.
I don't think so.
I agree.
I think there's a bigger chance that it either happened or somebody is going for a cash grab outside of Cleveland than Cleveland going like, we need to do something about him.
1,000%.
Um,
We need to get rid of his contract. He wastes too much of our money.
but on the flip side, Jacksonville should be 1-0. They are
Yeah.
back. Trevor Lawrence is here. I am excited, and Jacksonville is going to catch a dub.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not all into Jacksonville. I'm not super crazy about them, but uh, fuck.
I am.
Honestly, I really think this is going to be a bounce back for the Browns.
Okay.
I think the Browns have to pull one out here if they want to contend in the AFC North.
San Francisco.
And
Oh, so you
yeah,
okay? So you're going Cleveland. Sorry, I thought you were. I thought you were wrapping up that. I thought you were. Yep, I'm going
I,
Cleveland.
I I definitely thought about it, but I mean, for all the stuff that we talked about the Browns preseason, I don't think there's any reason to ditch that right now just yet because of the terrible week one.
I'm not ditching it. It's just Browns are in a very shitty situation right now, and the
They are.
Jags are like hot, and they know they should be 1-0, and they're pissed. Like they're
I know,
they're.
but honestly, a piss Jags doesn't scare me that much.
I I think they might change your mind. They
Maybe, who
might. I
knows?
think
We'll
they
see.
might change your mind.
I'm wrong a
San
lot, so
San Francisco versus Minnesota.
Sanford. I mean, obviously they don't have CMC, um, but I think they're no less the football team without Christian. They have Jordan Mason, who last week showed that he could be good enough, and they have all three other pieces plus Brock. So
Yeah,
if
either
if Minnesota wins, then fucking good on Sam Darnold.
yeah,
Beautiful.
either Sam
Props.
Darnold, either the Sam Darnold hype lasted a week,
Yeah,
or this might be like the most memorable week 2 moment of all time.
agreed. Yeah, if Sam Darnold beats the Niners week 2, it's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going San Francisco
Yes,
because there's just no way.
but honestly, I might in my heart root for Minnesota. I might root for
Oh,
Sam Darnold.
absolutely,
I'm rooting for Sam
absolutely,
Darnold.
for
I want to
sure,
see it,
for sure,
but I'm
obviously,
gonna
but it's not happening. Seattle versus New England.
Seattle all day. New England's first win. Yeah, good for you. You got one dub this year. Congrats.
Mm,
Gives a shit. I mean,
mm,
I don't care.
mm,
Is Kenneth hurt
mm-hmm.
like fully?
Doubtful.
Uh,
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. Seattle did not look good to me versus Denver.
no.
Like at all. And Denver, in my eyes, might be the worst team in the NFL. They're up there. Oh, Carolina, but they're up there.
Yeah.
And Jacoby Brissett is better than Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Ramondre Stevenson and the Patriots run game will be a problem, is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Seattle, like I said last week, I them and Denver, I think they're just both pretty bad teams. And Seattle came out with the dub. Kenneth Walker decided to turn up in the second half. I think New England, for in a weird world, we're going to see them be 2-0.
Yeah, the more I think about it, it is possible, but in all of my heart of hearts, I can't bring myself to say the Pats are gonna win. I want Seattle to win. Um, Gerard Mayo hype, whatever the fuck you can call it, whatever. But I think the defense of Seattle, maybe they can get their offense running with some throwing of the ball to DK
Maybe.
and Tyler.
I
Maybe
mean, maybe, but I just. Uh,
this is a good evenly matched game. I mean, it's a game with, I mean, just two slightly above average teams, with the Seahawks gunning for a spot
Slightly below,
in the playoffs.
slightly above average.
I don't
You're
know why I
giving
said
them.
above. I mean,
You're
there's average teams.
you're giving them. I wouldn't even. Average. An average team is like Jacksonville.
I think then sure. The well, I think then Seattle's average, and I think the Pats are below average.
I guess sure, but I don't know.
It's been a week. We'll see. Who knows?
I'm like 70, 75% New England, 95% if Kenneth don't play.
I'm definitely not 90. No,
Yeah,
I mean honestly, if
yeah.
I'm speaking from if Kenneth doesn't play.
Kenneth Walker doesn't show up in the second half versus Denver, they might lose to the Broncos last week.
Listen to me.
The
Now this may be
Broncos.
fantasy biased. This may be fantasy biased. I have Zach Charbonnet, so Zach Charbonnet will show up. But honestly, I think if Kenneth can do what he does with that Seattle O line, I think there's a multitude of running backs who can do okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Take Seattle. Take Seattle. Jets versus Tennessee.
I have to take the Jets. I rode with them week one. Probably shouldn't have, but I don't want to see anything from Tennessee ever.
Look, the Jets better win this fucking game.
They
I'm
better.
not gonna lie. The Jets, to
This
me,
is this is basically the rest of their season.
this is a bounce back game for them. This is a get back game for them. They need to just if if they do not just roll through Tennessee, like we're gonna have to start. And like I'm gonna say for the next couple of episodes, I know it's overreactions. I'm overreacting. We might have to start talking about the chances of the window for the Jets Super Bowl run possibly closing a
Quick.
lot a lot sooner or quicker than we thought.
Yeah. No, I mean this needs to be an Aaron Rodgers I own you type of game.
Mm,
He needs to fuck this shit out of Tennessee Titans.
mm,
And honestly, it just needs to be the Jets need to figure out who the fuck they are.
yeah,
Obviously, they had a whole year of being weird with whatever quarterback they played with, and were never really good enough.
I
The
mean,
defense better play like they're supposed to, and yeah, A Rod he better be A Rod.
and the Jets just their hype like preseason hype last year. It was like right AFC Championship bound, like shit. Who knows? Now it's like one one bad game from Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, and it's like I don't know. Maybe this Jets team is trash. So it's like obviously the overreactions are gonna fly either way. Because had Aaron Rodgers had a great game and they put up 40 on San Fran, then it would have been Jets to Super Bowl for the next 10 weeks. So
Yep.
you know, but yeah, no, I am gonna go Jets for sure. Giants
Commanders.
versus
End of story.
Giants versus Commanders.
Commanders.
Dan Quinn said 16 carries for JD was definitely too much and not the game plan. They expect him to be throwing a lot more. Which don't squint your face at that. He don't need to run 16 times a game.
No, I was trying to think of who JD was.
Oh, okay. Your quarterback.
Yes.
Your quarterback. But yeah,
No, that's a lot.
Giants suck. Washington doesn't suck as bad, so I'm gonna go with Washington.
It's very, very close. I mean, we could very well lose this football game.
How close is it though? Is it that close? Because I think y'all are.
It's pretty close. I mean, I've seen us lose a lot to the Giants recently.
I think y'all are like obviously better than the Giants.
For now, we'll see
this
this week. I mean, but there's no telling.
See this week. Rams versus Arizona.
The Rams better win.
Arizona showed hope in the first week, in week 1 versus Buffalo, especially in the first half. Rams lost. Cool. Whatever. Honestly, there were a lot of moments. If there were a couple mistakes away from winning that game. I mean, they were
obviously Puka's out,
and I don't think that's gonna.
I don't like. It's weird. I don't want to shit on Puka, but it's like this Rams offense is so productive throwing the ball with whoever they have that losing Puka does not by any means mean the end of this road. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is going to get doubled and dogged the hell out of, but they still have good enough receivers who can catch the ball and get open. So, yeah, I don't think it's really going to affect this team as much as people thought it would, but I like the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Rams bounce back, but we will definitely see how good the Cardinals really are this week.
I don't think they're very good, and I think Dallas sucks, but
Dallas? You said Dallas?
I said Dallas sucks.
And you mean that? You meant to say Dallas there?
Yeah, no, I meant to say that just because it was close. Wrong team.
Okay.
I was talking. Dallas played the Browns, not the Bills.
Yeah, Dallas played the Browns, not the Bills.
Not the Cardinals.
Cincinnati versus Kansas City.
KC all day. The Bengals shuck. They stink. Joe Burrow sucks. This is the only team I'm going to go in on. Fuck everything about Kansas City. I'm not a fan of anybody in the AFC North, but I cannot stand the Bengals.
Damn, dude.
I think the Bengals are absolute fools for not paying Jamar. And if they don't, then they're gonna feel the wrath of Jamar not playing to the level that he's supposed to. And even if he does, I think Joe Burrow still sucks. They don't have a running game. They don't have a complete pass game because they barely a tight end, no second receiver. Jamar's gonna get tripled and doubled every fucking time, and Burrow's not good enough.
I feel your take, but I just want to go back to that one thing you said for a second. Like your heart can be like cold. Your heart can be cold as ice to every team besides Washington, and every team in the AFC North. But you don't got like a little tiny spot. Friend to friend.
No.
Co-host to co-host.
Of course I do.
You know, a little spot for Baltimore.
Of course I do.
I mean, it was just look. I can't stand any AFC North team.
No.
If there's one.
The way that I meant that was like, yes, obviously I feel for the Ravens. It will never feel the same as me, like the elatement of winning a game will never feel the same if it's the Ravens or the Commanders. I will always feel better about a Commanders win, but I don't feel but I don't feel that personal vendetta against an AFC North team, which allows me to feel that toward the Bengals without being personal. This is a separate from a fandom. This is more of I truly think that the Bengals do suck.
That is so funny.
And I think their O
That
line
is
blows
definitely.
chunks, and I think their defense is scraps at best.
I think they have a way better game than they do week one. And this would be the fucking game they decide to show off and like ball out, but
They
I,
won't.
they won't. Um, Either way, we either get a Kansas City loss or we get a 0-2 Bengals squad.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is the year that the Chiefs play well in the regular season, lose in the postseason.
That would be awesome. That would
Because
be.
last year they played not great all regular season. They won a lot of games,
Mhm.
and then obviously swept the postseason.
Yeah, no, I will, I will take that 100%. Pittsburgh versus Denver. Look, I really don't want to hear another week of Justin Fields hype, but Pittsburgh's winning this game. So I mean, that's all I really got for that. I'm
And
not too excited though.
I'm not sure how much Justin Fields hype there will be. I mean, last week you can't hype Justin up, and it's the defense. I mean, we can call it Justin's win, but it will be the defense of Pittsburgh who will win them the majority of their games this year.
Let me take back the Justin Fields hype comment and say, in my eyes, to at least to me, it's when Russell decides he's good enough, he's good to play. It's his team.
Yes,
Just the
exactly.
fact that after the win versus Atlanta, they were having conversations about, should the Steelers stick with Justin Fields? Should they let
I
they just the fact that conversations like that are being had, and if he wins this game, when they win this game versus Denver, more I know they're gonna keep having
no,
certain people are gonna have those conversations.
of course. The problem is when Russ comes back and say Russ has a bad first game or a bad second game or a bad whatever, and they start blaming games on Russ and all this shit. And it's like the majority of this team's outcomes is going to come down to their defense. Who you have in at quarterback isn't going to matter too much, but you would be better off with a Russell Wilson than you would a Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter who they're at quarterback out of those two. Okay, okay, yeah, no, I would agree, but obviously Pittsburgh, I think they are going to beat Denver.
Yes.
Um, Chicago versus Houston.
Houston. Chicago wins and fucking beautiful. Great on them. Go grab a dub. Caleb obviously looks like shit.
Yeah,
Um,
those
the
are the
beautiful thing
questions.
about CJ Stroud is like never won a Heisman, was never talked about as he was when he got drafted. He was drafted second. He wasn't drafted as a guy who was gonna. I mean, when we looked at Houston early in the year last year, they weren't a team who was going to contend or going to do anything. And we get mid-season, we get late season, and CJ turns into a guy who's talked about in MVP conversations and talked about in futures and as a NFL player for a long time. And with Caleb, it's like, yeah, everything that we've said is. I mean, obviously, he's played one fucking NFL game, but it's all been Heisman bullshit hype, which we've seen before. We've seen it not work out. So I don't know.
I
Give
mean, I
Caleb a few more weeks. Give him a full year. Give him another full 3 years. I don't think he'll be as good as CJ Stroud will be.
I think what I'm looking for is, will Caleb complete more than 50% of his passes? Will he throw 400 or more yards?
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know. I'm not totally sure, and I don't think that matters. I think Houston obviously catches this dub. I really think it's a pretty simple answer. The Chicago hype, I never bought into it. I'm not saying it's like a crash and burn situation. I'm just
No,
saying what people expected 2 weeks ago. Like their
with
expectations should at least start to change.
their expectations were an immediate playoff team
Mm-hmm.
based off of the fact that they took out the entirety of the quarterback variable and they said, hey, we have Keenan, we have Romo Dunze, who's also a rookie, we have DJ Moore, we have who's a DeAndre Swift. It's like this to me feels like a best case scenario. Sorry, worst case scenario, Panthers team. We saw what the Panthers did with. You remember that?
With
Before Bryce Young's first year, they brought in Hayden Hurst. They brought in Adam Thielen.
yes,
They
yes,
brought
yes.
in.
M-
Um,
Miles Sanders. We hyped
was
it
Miles
up.
Sanders that year? They brought in Miles
We
Sanders. We
we hyped it up a little bit.
obviously not as much as Caleb because where Caleb was coming from was a little bit higher than Bryce Young. But either way, we thought about that team as a team that would not be the worst. Now, obviously, the Panthers will be fucking terrible, but I think it's time we start to look at the Bears like they'd be lucky to win 4, 5, 6 games instead of looking at them like a playoff team. Let Caleb be a rookie for a year. Let Rome Odunze be a rookie for a year. Let Keenan Allen waste the rest of
Retire.
his career. Yeah, exactly. Let him retire. Let him do his thing.
Let Burr
Um,
retire, please.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Let
And then
Caleb develop as a player.
our final game, Monday Night Football, Atlanta versus Philly.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be shocked if Atlanta kept up. Um,
I mean, I'd be shocked if Atlanta scored
Scored.
14.
Oh, I thought you were saying scored.
I
If
paused.
Atlanta
Scored
scored.
14. Um,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a masterclass by the Eagles. I think this is going to prove that bringing in a mid-tier to low-level long-term quarterback is a waste of money, especially when you spend $40 million a year on him.
I, I I don't know. I don't think them. See, right now Atlanta's in a
Now, I
terrible
don't know.
spot.
This game might not prove it,
Okay.
but it will start to crack and show what Kirk Cousins actually is, which is a below average quarterback.
If this team, if Atlanta's offense builds more chemistry, and this matchup happens week 11, 12, we might be having a different conversation.
I think if this team builds chemistry with Pitts and Bijan and Drake London, I think that they can win 7 games.
That's wild. That's wild. I
I
mean,
know
they do have a pretty good defense as well.
it's not good enough.
Do you? I mean,
I know guys out there.
they have a great defense,
We'll
and
see.
the pickups they made. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they did hold Pittsburgh to just field goals.
Agreed. But
And
Pittsburgh's offense, run by Justin Fields, sucks. Wait till
yeah,
they
but
hit the
multiple
powerhouse of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan
but
Dotson, Saquon Barkley. It is the end of the Falcons before
multiple
we see it start.
multiple drives for the Steelers started literally at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, the Steelers' offense blows chunky dicks.
Yeah, but listen, I'm not saying that Atlanta is gonna have not gonna have a tough day versus Philly's offense, but
But you're saying
for
that
you to
Atlanta's
say
defense is good.
that Atlanta with a good defense and them to build, to have good chemistry, that they can only win 7 games. I don't
But
know. I think that's a
I mean, do you
little.
think that Atlanta's offense will be good enough to?
I don't. They had a really bad week one. They had a really bad first
No,
game.
I know, but prior to week one, if you took Kirk Cousins, the same Kirk Cousins who was unable to get anything done in Minnesota except for one playoff appearance and a loss, you're expecting him to pull into a new system with younger, newer guys and expect him to play as good and better than he did in Minnesota. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that he will. And if he does, then good on him. But
I mean, but if
I,
we're gonna put all these other quarterbacks on the plate just because what they haven't performed well in a couple of years, and it might not even be because of age, it's like what?
I mean, it's the same play we put Russell Wilson on.
Ah,
Well, obviously Russell had
come
2
on,
horrible years with the
come on.
Broncos, but we were putting him in a closer pedestal when he went to the Broncos. when he went from the comfort of Seattle, the comfort of having a all around decent team to the Broncos.
Mhm.
Now we've got Kirk coming from the all around somewhat decent team of Minnesota to the Falcons. Either way, I still don't think that his performance will help this team get past where they want to be, which is a playoff winner, a Super Bowl contender, whatever the fuck.
Oh, I mean, playoff winner, Super Bowl contender is. I feel like there is a middle ground between Super Bowl winner and 7-win team.
No, I think it'll be tough for them to make the playoffs this year.
Sure, sure. I still think there's a middle ground from that. Like I feel like seven wins is like pretty
But
low. Like
all right,
7 to 10.
7 to 9, like 9 would get them into the playoffs.
9 would win their division.
Exactly.
So, but
Well,
that's
then eight's
well,
not going to
no,
get them into
no,
the
no,
playoffs.
no, no. 9 wouldn't win their division. I don't know how many. I don't know how many. I don't know how many wins the Bucks gonna have.
Well, then 9 might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, okay, yeah, possibly.
So the Falcons will honestly have to win their division to make the playoffs. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening under Kirk, especially in this first year. And I mean,
I
the
just think
the
there's
the, the,
more
the
than.
immediate trust for Kirk seems to blow my mind.
Well, okay, the problem was, all right, Atlanta needs a quarterback. They got all these pieces. Time to make it happen. That was an assumption.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what Kirk can do. Obviously, it's not the best fucking shit we've seen before, and you're saying he's never been able to get it done. I mean, if that's the case, a lot of quarterbacks have never been able to get it done.
Agreed, but
But if
of
Kirk,
all the quarterbacks who haven't been able to get it done, why should we expect them to though then and go get it done?
I mean, what's your definition of go get it done? And only
Win
one
a
team
playoff
can
game.
win. I mean,
Make the play.
okay,
I mean,
all right, make the playoffs. So okay, can I count out Atlanta as being able to make the playoffs this season after one bad game?
no.
No, I can't.
But no,
I
this
can't. I
I'm
can't
not
say that.
necessarily speaking on just Atlanta's game. It's the entirety of their offseason, the entirety of the hype of all their bullshit to bringing their team to making them think that they should be this big playoff contender, this powerhouse of a team because now they have Kirk and Kyle Pitts is going to get going and that Drake London's going to be a fucking animal and that Bijan I think has the most potential of anybody on this team.
It's
Um,
there. It's there, but at the same time, I mean, you go back and look at that Steelers game. There was absolutely nothing they could do with T.J. Watt. Kirk Cousins had no time to sit back there and make any type of decision. And I don't know how much. I don't know how much time he's going to have when Philly's getting back there to him.
what are
So
they going to do with Jalen Carter? What
that's
are
what
they
I'm
going to do with
saying.
this Philly
So
defense? What are they going to do with this Philly offense?
I just don't want at the end of this season it to be, oh well, I guess Atlanta just needs to go with find another quarterback because they have all the pieces. They might not have the pieces they think they have
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they have the pieces they think they
on
have. Like I
offense.
said, I think Bijan is the only huge piece of this team who can be a massive potential. I don't think Drake London is nowhere near a top receiver in this league, like people think he is. I think Kyle Pitts, if they can get him going, is a top tight end, but Drake London is nowhere near a top receiver in this league.
But I'm going Philly.
Of course.
I'm going Philly. All right, and that wraps up our predictions. And as of right now, I'm 13-4, and you are 9-8.
No one listened to me. I'm wrong.
9-8, Devin. You were
Hey,
9-8.
I'm wrong. No,
Oh, oh,
I'm
oh,
wrong.
oh, oh. Wrong about what?
Everything.
What?
So everyone should go bet on the Falcons to win. Everyone should go bet on the Bears and the Bengals and the Broncos. Go bet on them.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe I'm wrong.
there definitely is a possibility. All right.
Now, again,
Um.
the NFL is wild and anything can happen, but who knows?